So one of the things that we wanted to ask was, do you guys find any difficulties with talking about so many different leagues, or is it a good opportunity for you guys to talk about new content?
Anytime you can give new content and you can expand, right, it always draws in more people. One of the things that we were blessed with is that we had an audience that is about us. And so when we're able to do content, it only expands our ability. We have the knowledge base. I mean, all four, five of us have some form of knowledge from that area. Luis and Danny are Liga MX till they die, essentially. Michael and my family's from Scotland, so I have all of that knowledge. I grew up on Manchester United and Eric Cantona, and together we have the ability. And then we have Seth, who does our Soccer Pulse, who plays. He's played in Reno. He plays at Orange County, so he knows the landscape of development academies. And we actually just we have another partner joining us for the women's show, and she has this unique knowledge of just everything women worldwide, and to the point now she's actually studying the college game. So we've been able to use our experiences and our knowledge to really create this network, this platform that appeases and gets to all people. I mean, we aren't just talking about USL or MLS. Now we're able to branch out and get more listeners and more follows and more understanding of the game. And the way we do it is a little different. We're just a bunch of guys from Sacramento who happen to know, or Modesto and Reno and Orange County, who know the game, and we enjoy it. So it's fun.
Very nice. Let me pick your brain on the women's soccer show. To my knowledge right now, unless I haven't looked hard enough, I don't know very many women's soccer podcasts out there. So, what gave you the inspiration to start it, and are you having success with it? Or, when you look at your numbers of who's listening, is it something that's becoming popular? Are you becoming one of the leaders in that field?
So there's definitely a need, right? There's a
Oh,
thirst for
absolutely.
this information. When we started with the show, it was like, oh, we're gonna be Republic based. And then when Republic went kind of south on everything and went dark, we reached out to the California Storm, and they were extremely open to working with us. And we partnered with them to the point where we do appearances. We are, like I said, we do their play-by-play, we do their game day stuff, and it's great. And my daughter, who's 3, loves the game of soccer. So this is an opportunity for me as a father. I've coached girls soccer my entire life, from when I started coaching a few years ago, to having my own daughter. And now I get to actually use my platform, my knowledge, my understanding of the game. There isn't podcasts. There's no shows,
Right.
you know, ESPN FC. There's a few, right? But if this is something that the community needs, we can cover the NWSL, the WPSL. We can cover the FA's Women's Super League. We have the opportunity to cover all of this, and there isn't a podcast, I don't think, and I haven't researched that covers all of it from the United States.
Right.
So the content that we can provide with the knowledge that we all have and share, it only makes it that much easier and that much better for not just our community, but the national audience that needs this or wants this.
Absolutely. And outside of just people starting to talk about it more, with podcasts or the Women's World Cup, you always see that spike. Women's World Cup, everybody's hyped about it. The second that thing ends, it's like, oh, they don't exist anymore, right? What do you think personally, after, being exposed to it so much, that the women's game can do to get more exposure? How can they get themselves out there?
It takes us. It takes people talking about it, not just talking about it for a month, not talking about it for a couple of days or a spattering of tournaments that are here and there. It's a constant conversation. You know, for men's soccer, we can talk about it till we're black and blue in the face all year round, right? Like, we can have those conversations. That's just the way it is. And I can sit here tired as heck, but I can still find a way to talk about, the French league or Bundesliga. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And the knowledge base for women is essentially the national teams. It's not, look at Twitter, your timeline's filled with, oh, MLS is coming back. Well, MLS is the second sport to come back. The NWSL had a plan. In fact, it was so good that players said, all right, we're going to play, and we're not going to lock out. The owners weren't going to lock players out, right? And so for us, it's just about creating that content that talks about it. It brings light to, you know, the French captain who's 6'4", who towers over everybody, or, you know, Alex Morgan wanting to participate in the tournament, but not sure how she's going to be able to do that after giving birth. But those are all conversations people don't get, right? Did you guys know that the NWSL rule where women couldn't play in Europe because of their tied contractually? Like, those are all things, right? Like, that's the stuff that people don't get or understand. So by feeding them or giving them that opportunity, it definitely does. It drives a thirst for more knowledge.
I think especially now that like baseball and, you know, football aren't on TV, both the MLS and the women's game have literally just the spotlight to themselves. So this is their golden kind of moment to say that, like, start watching, you know, especially those of us who have been sport deprived for the last 3 months.
Absolutely.
Definitely.